Hey Womblers, this week we're off to Covent Garden. If you're new here, then welcome. My name's Emmy and this is Project Womble. I'm on a mission to visit and explore all 272 stations on the London Underground. I visit each station and then I report back my findings. I love London, I love history, I love architecture, I love all the little nooks and crannies and side streets. I'm not a professional guide, I'm not a qualified historian, I just love London and I love exploring. I explore everywhere on foot, I don't even own a car. I love all the side streets and nooks and crannies of London, so come with me and let's explore. Okay, here's our station summary. So Covent Garden opened in 1907, so it's an old station. It's one of those beautiful Leslie Green Grade 2 listed stations. We'll see that on our way out. It's on the Piccadilly line. It's only got one line, so it's got two platforms. And it serves the area of Covent Garden. The word Covent Garden came from Convent Garden because this whole area used to be fields and there was a convent here, and this was basically the veg patch for the convent. Obviously it's not anymore. It's a big shopping area now, a big theatre area. It's right smack bang in the middle of the West End of London. I like Covent Garden. I don't like the station. I don't tend to use it. A, because it's only on the Piccadilly line, and B, I don't really like queuing. I don't like waiting for the lift. I'm quite nomadic. I think I like to always be continually, forward motion. I don't like having to wait for the lift. And so, you'll see on the footage here, I've actually taken the stairs, which I always regret. I've taken these stairs far too many times, and every time I take them, I always regret it because it's a long old walk. But yeah, for that reason, I don't tend to use Covent Garden Station. It's extremely busy. It's overused, I think. And there's other stations that are nearby to Covent Garden, like Ching Cross, for example, that I would just rather walk from than have to get out at Covent Garden. But it's a project, and so I had to visit it, and so we're visiting it. It is a beautiful looking Leslie Green station. I'm not going to, deny that. It is stunning. I like the mustard yellow tiling inside, all of that. I just don't tend to use it very much. To be honest, I don't tend to use the Piccadilly line very much. Anyway, that's enough of a station overview. That's enough of me wittering on about that. Here's our Go Jauntly map. So we are going to have a little tour of Covent Garden. We're not going to see it all because there's hundreds and hundreds of things to see in Covent Garden, but we'll do our best. We'll have a look at some blue plaques, some quirky little bits and pieces. As ever, the maps and routes for this are available to download in the Go Jauntly app. Hopefully is available to download, because I had a little bit of a wobble earlier and accidentally deleted this one. So hopefully I've managed to reinstate that one. Okay, first thing on our list is Neals Yard. I used to love coming down here when I was younger, and it's still really charming. I mean, you've probably recognised this from Instagram or Pinterest or wherever. It's just iconic, these pictures. You can see the blue plaque there. That's actually, that blue plaque is Monty Python, because in 1976, Michael Palin and Terry Gillingham bought Neals Yard, bought some offices in Neals Yard. And I think a friend of theirs, Nicholas Saunders, established the whole food market here. And then obviously Neals Yard Remedies popped up, Neals Yard Dairy, Monmouth Coffee. All of these are sort of famous chain stores now. But they all originated here. I used to really like coming to Neals Yard Remedies and like having the herbs weighed out. These little glass jars behind the counter where you could have your herbal tea all weighed out for you. I used to love all that. I'm sure they still do it. I just didn't pop in on the day. But I do love it down here. Out the back of Neals Yard is Monmouth Street. And if you look up, you'll find a Brian Epstein plaque. We've seen one of these before in Oxford Circus on Argyle Street, but here's another one. So this is where Brian Epstein would have had his offices. He managed the Beatles. Just along from Seven Dials, you've got this really cool mural, which is by London-based artist Super Mundane. And you know me, I love a bit of street art, but I really, really like this one, and I like the message. Here's what the artist Rob said about this piece. Creativity is in all of us. It might be buried deep in some, but it is there. It's something we're all born with, to greater or lesser degrees. But as we get older, we are told there are right and wrong ways to do things, and many people lose confidence with making mistakes, which are essential in creativity. If we are not allowed to make mistakes, we cannot truly be creative. Hopefully, this mural will encourage you to take up a brush, a pen, a pencil, or anything you can make a mark with and just go for it. How lovely is that? I mean, I'm all about that life, just going for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like that with this channel. I might not be the best at this, but I'm just doing it and doing it anyway. But anyway, round the corner from there is Mercier Walk. This is cool, little cut through. You've got Stanford Bookshop there as well, quite a well-known bookshop. And then if you go down here and turn the corner, you're back out on Long Acre, which is the big long street with Covent Garden Station on it. So we've basically looped back round on ourselves. Here we've got a blue plaque for Margo Fontaine, famous ballet dancer, one of the most graceful and talented ballet dancers that ever lived. And she's actually born in Surrey. Her real name was Margaret Evelyn Hookham. So Margaret Fontaine sounds posher, right? But anyway, she died in 1991, but she carried on dancing right into her 60s, which is unusual for ballet dancers. Just along from there, you've got Conduit Court, which is kind of one of these like Instagram archway things. It's got like an infinity chamber with mirrors that seems to attract Instagrammers. I mean, I was a bit drawn to it. I'm not an Instagrammer, or am I? I mean, I am on Instagram. I've got quite a few followers. I wonder how many followers you have to have before you're officially an Instagrammer. Maybe you're just born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, I'm more of a YouTuber. I like YouTube the best, although I do like Instagram. Anyway, for all you Instagrammers out there, here's one of those things that Instagrammers like. And we've got the Larmon Flag here, which is a Grade 2 public house situated in what used to be a really violent area of Covent Garden. This pub used to be nicknamed the Bucket of Blood because they had prize fights upstairs, bare knuckle fighting upstairs. There's a plaque there for John Dryden because this commemorates where John Dryden got beaten up once because King Charles II sent a load of men after him because he'd written a poem about one of his mistresses, Louise de Couric. It's hard to keep up with King Charles II. He had a lot of mistresses. We'll see him later on with the old Nell Gwen pub. But anyway, there's the Larmon Flag. Lovely old pub. Grade 2 listed. And Charles Dickens used to drink in here. But you could say that about most pubs in London, to be honest. Okay, just round the corner from there, we've got King Street. Got a blue plaque there, which is Thomas Augustine Arne, composer. Best known for Rule Britannia. Rule Britannia. I won't sing, but I just did. Okay, we're walking up King Street now towards Covent Garden and the Piazza. You'll recognise this. It's so iconic. I do love it here. This is where they've had the first ever Punch and Judy show. And so there's a pub over there called the Punch and Judy. Check this out. Look who I saw when I was there. Blimmin' Pearly Queens. Pearly Kings and Queens. This is St Paul's Church. Also known as the Actors' Church. It's situated right smack bang in the middle of Covent Garden. It was designed by Indigo Jones and completed in 1633. It's also where the first plague victim is buried in the churchyard. Margaret Pointius is buried in this churchyard, and she was believed to have been the first plague victim of London. And talking of the churchyard, look at this blue hut. Guess what that is? That's a night watchman's hut. Because back in the days of grave robbing, they used to have to put a night watchman in one of these huts to watch out for grave robbers, because they used to dig up the bodies and sell them to the local hospitals as cadavers. Lots of history in this old churchyard. You can also see one of the old parish boundary lines here as well. So, yeah, very interesting place to mooch about. I didn't go in because it was a Sunday when I filmed this and there was a service on. But, yeah, if you go, I highly recommend popping in. Here we've got another blue plaque, Jane Austen. And here we've got the iconic Covent Garden. Look at it. Just look at how beautiful it is. At the time of filming, it was November, so the Christmas lights were up, which just adds to the charm of it. I do love Covent Garden. It is charming. It is beautiful. It's had a checkered past, like a lot of London. It used to be an area of ill repute. It used to be full of brothels and taverns and, you know, all sorts down here. A bit of a slum. But it's classy and bougie now, and I love it. I couldn't do a Covent Garden tour without mentioning the London Transport Museum. I mean, my project is all about the London Underground, and I love this little museum. I love the gift shop even more. Best gift shop in London. It's absolutely fab. Check it out. Just along from there is Maiden Lane, where you'll find this plaque, Voltaire's plaque. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. That's my favourite Voltaire quote, that is. I use it all the time. Anyway, just across from there is Rule's Restaurant, London's oldest restaurant. It's pretty swanky in there. Obviously, I didn't go in. Too swanky for me, but not too swanky for James Bond. They filmed James Bond's Spectre in here, and they filmed various episodes of Downton Abbey in here. Just along from there on Wellington Street, we've got this plaque, which is Oscar Wilde. Here we've got the Lyceum Theatre, which is where the Lion King's showing. Lovely Grade 2 listed theatre there. And then just down here, we've got the Ivor Novello Theatre and the Ivor Novello plaque. There are loads of theatres in Covent Garden. We're just walking up Catherine Street now, heading towards Drury Lane. Oh, there's another blue plaque there on the side of that building. And then as the camera pans round, you'll see the Nell Gwen pub. And opposite that, there's the theatre, the Drury Lane Theatre. Which opened in 1663, so it's basically London's oldest continuously used theatre. So Nell Gwen used to be an actress. Well, she was originally an orange seller from Covent Garden, then she became an actress, then she became King Charles II's mistress, and there's secret tunnels under the ground between the theatre and this pub, and this is where they used to meet, allegedly. I didn't go in because it was a bit early in the morning when I visited, but it did look like a lovely old pub. Just here, we've got Bow Street, famous for the Bow Street Runners. So the Bow Street Runners were like the first ever police force in London, basically. So Robert Peel invented the Metropolitan Police, which is why the police are sometimes called bobbies, as in Robert Peel. But before then, there was Henry Fielding, and he was a magistrate here at this Bow Street Magistrates Court. And he invented the Bow Street Runners to try and get law and order in the area. Just across from Bow Street and Bow Street Magistrate Court, you've got this absolutely magnificent building, which is a Grade 1 listed Royal Opera House. It dates back to 1728. It houses the Royal Ballet and the Royal Opera. I'd love to go and see a ballet there. I haven't been, but it's on my list of things to do because I think that would be amazing. And then just around the corner from there, there's this sculpture of a young dancer by Enzo Plazzotta, which is a beautiful piece of work. And it's right next to those famous phone boxes, the Instagram famous phone boxes that people seem to love. And that's pretty much it for our tour of Covent Garden. I've been a bit under the weather the last couple of weeks, and so I'm sorry if I feel it sounds or feels like my heart's not in it. It is. I'm still loving the project. I've just not been very well the last couple of wombles and voiceovers. So, but yeah, hopefully I'm on the mend, and we'll be back at it for the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like or a comment. It's lovely to hear from you.